In the last session, we discussed about functions and then what is function name, what is parameter lists, and then how to define a function, how to include a statements within a functional block. Right, those things we have seen. Also, we had discussed about parameters of a function. What does mean by parameter? There are certain functions, they are parameterless function. That means it doesn't accept any sort of parameters. It's just does some job, which is repeatable. Right. Right. Some of function will return something, some function won't return anything. That is also there. Some function will accept parameters and will return some return value. We do have a function, something like that. Right. Another one thing is, while we are passing parameters to a function, we can do it in two different ways. Call by value and call by reference. This is very famous concept in programming industry. Right. Most of the people will make mistake here. When you call a function and you pass some parameters to it, do you think, for example, you have a parameter A and B and you declared them in your main, top of your main, maybe in the declaration section, and then you pass those variable or entities to functions as parameters. Right. So now the parameters are processed by the function. When they are processing, are they use the same memory location that we have stored our parameter in the very first time? That means in top of main or in declaration section, we have declared an initialize no. So for that also some memory will be used. Probably the memory used is stack memory that we all know. And then within a functions also, we pass those parameters, those variables as parameter to a function now. Will that function use the same memory address to fetch the data, or it will make a copy of it? Any idea about that? By
Uh,
default.
yes, sir. When we send the only the values, then it will make the copy of the values.
Where it used to copy and where it store those data.
Uh,
It depends. It may
yes,
store in stack, it may store in rest of the RAM. So it depends on declaration of the variables that you make inside your function right now, how you declare your variable.
yes,
Based on that, they will make a copy. From this, what we come to know is they are making copies. Okay, have any other method? So if there is such a method, how to do that one? One
uh,
is we are passing values. When we
yes,
pass values, automatically they create a copy of it.
yes, sir.
So when what is another way?
So we can directly pass the address, sir. So when we pass the address of the variable, the function will try to take the value of the variable from that address and modify there in the address same address only. So thereby, like the original value is also modified.
Okay. So that is called as, they use a term call by reference. That means they were asking the function to refer particular address for the data. Then they will use that data from the same address. Right. So we are going to learn that now. First, we will see some examples. When you pass some array to a function as parameter, by default, array parameters are accepted as by call by reference. That means you are actually passing address only. So when you modify the content of array, automatically that will affect the array content if you try to modify it in function. So then other than array, when you pass some variables, to a function, they are making a copy of it. We have to know that difference first. So by default, when we pass some variables other than array, that is by default call by value. When you pass an array to a function which is treated as call by reference always, there is no word of call by value when you deal with array. So that is the difference. Let us see that now. So for that, give me a sec. Let me bring, right. Let me create a file now to understand this call by value and call by reference. So I just create a function, create a file or C program called func type dot C. Right, this is my function, or this is my C program here. This time I'm going to use void main because I'm not going to return anything. So I just use that. And then I make some declarations. Int num1, comma, num2, num1 equal to 100, num2 equivalent to 245. There are two numbers I have. I also have an array int collection is equal to 101, 102, 105, 107. I have an array. I also have a variables, right? So now I just use a function. I have a function int add in comma int. That means I will pass two integer to that function. Another one is int add to add array int star. Right now, I have two functions now, right?
Sir, is the second this one we are sending the address, right? Int star means
I'm not actually, I'm going to pass an array. So it will take that as an answer. So let's see. First, let me, first thing is I declared a function. I create a prototype of a function which accepts the two integer variable. In that, I didn't use star. But in the second one, I have a argument which is a integer pointer. But I'm saying it is an integer pointer right now. So this is one way I can do. You can also do it in another way. Say something like this. Even this will work right now. So now can say as num like that to make it more meaningful, right? So I'm going to do see here I declared two variables. I also declare a array. When I declared an array, I didn't set any pointer. I didn't include any pointer symbols here. Yes or no? I don't have. Sorry, here I have to do. I have not used any star, those sort of things. Do you agree? In this
yes, sir.
declaration, I just
Yes.
said a collection of 4 and I gave some 4 variables. That's all. Now I am going to write a definition here. Int add int x, comma int y. Right. Then I just, as far as this is concerned, I return x plus y. Right. And I store the result in a variable called sum. Right. So now we have to understand where these are, where these variable. Okay, in after doing this, let us have some more steps here. Int sum equal to 0, which is a local variable here. Sum equal to x plus y, x equal to x plus 2, y equal to y plus 2. Right now. And then I return sum. After I run this program, what is the value of num and num2, num1 and num2? What will be? You see, after I make this call, add num1 and num2, I just pass num1 and num2 this one, no? So the x, num1 will come to x, num2 will come y. So as per this thing, so after it add those two variables, after that we also increment x and y by 2. Will the increment, will this become a 102 and a 246?
No, sir.
Why?
Because while passing the values of the num1 and num2 will be copied to the other address location, that is x and y. So there the changes will be done.
Okay, so you are right. You are 100% right. Let me give another example. So int array of, so I have this. Even we can do like this, no, as we declared there, we do the same. Int address of num. So I do a variable, I do have a variable here called sum. And then sum equal to num of 0 plus num of 1 plus num of 2 plus num of 3. After that, num of 0 equal to num of 0 plus 2. I increment that num 0. Maybe I am doing the same to num 4 as well. Okay. After this, if I print, okay, I call this one here print sum of num1 and num2 is equal to %t sum. Right. Again, sum equivalent to add array of collection. I didn't pass the address, I just passed the array. First of all, will that work? Will that add the content of that array, and I will that will store the result in some, or it will throw an error?
The second collection one, sir.
Yes. See, I passed the array only. No, I did actually. They asked me to pass the address. That is what told here,
Yes, sir.
right? But I passed just array. That itself wrong. No, will
The
that throw
first
error or not?
the first location of the array tells the address, like address of the array, sir. So I think it will not throw the error.
Okay, it will not throw the error. Okay, it will not throw the error because the array name represent the first memory location address. If I pass that one to the function, they do addition and they store the result in sum string. Now the sum has addition of those 4 elements. After that, we increase num0 and num3 by 2, right? So will that change happen in the array or not? Or it is simply as it is a copy of that array, so they won't make any update in those variables. This will happen in a different memory location.
It will the changes will happen in the array, sir.
Why?
Because we are directly modifying in the address location of the array. So whatever the values are modified in the function will reflect in the original address. So
Okay, you are right. So that is how it will happen. Why they treat when it is a when we pass some integer variable, they behave it, they make a copy of it, and then they perform a sum and they return the result. Whereas when you pass an array, they do it in a different way. Why it is so? So this is one way of doing things. Even you can do other way around is you can remove this address from here. First, let me demonstrate that this is working, and then we will come back to that one as well. That we cannot, no need to confuse that one with this as of now. So as we are passing the address, so they do the sum, right? But we just passed an array name only. No, we didn't pass the address, right? They have to do. They have when we pass something to an array, we have to match the data type, right? But we pass an array name only, no? How they take that as an address? How the C understand that as an address of collection? We didn't say address of collection. We just pass the array name. That's all. Yes or no?
yes, sir. So in the array, like the if we just mention the array name, so that represent the array starting address.
Brilliant, super. So the point that we have to clear now is, right? Address of num that you pass to this function is equivalent to address of a particular variable num1 or something like that, that is equivalent to passing then array name directly. That array you have, no, that if you pass that one which is equivalent to address of collection, you just say collection, right, which is equivalent to address of collection. Always array represent the address. Array is called by reference by default. But numbers are not like that. Numbers are called by value by default. If we specifically want to specify it as a reference, you can go do like that. That means by adding a ampersand in front of your variable name, you can pass the address. Clear now? Now it is clear, right?
Yes,
So
sir, clear.
now what we do, let us check what we discussed and told is really true. For that, what we do now, we pass num1, num2, here we pass the collection, we got the sum here. After that, we just print them. Print. Right? Then print. For that, we have to use a loop for int. We cannot do that because this is C. So int index equal to 0. Right? So I believe the syntax is correct. So any other syntax mistake that we have done, I think here we have to put a terminator. Other than that, everything is cool. Right. So we can even print all these things.
Sir, here you have written print, sir. Printf.
Thank you.
Sometimes I also make like this while writing Python. And
Because Python and C, we forget things
yes, sir.
right now.
Yes,
So
sir.
here I have to correct this to printf. So this is before, we can say before. Right? This is after we call those functions, right? This one. Right. Right. So now I am going to, I think when we run it, it will run now. Yes. GCC func type dot c hyphen o func type dot exe. It shows error. It says expected implicit declaration of a function add array. Very interesting. Error expected before a listen token. Mhm. line number 42. So they mean, I believe I have used this ampersand. Maybe I think we have to pad ampersand with this one, I believe. That is why they are throwing error. That is how I know. Because we used this before. Hmm. Very interesting. I think they will accept only int star. So we got 100 and 205 that we are getting as such. But if you look at array that we passed, but it is that is modified. See, 101 become 103 and 10 that means fourth element becomes 109. So they are adding 2 to that one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but when you look at this function, here also we are adding 2 to x and y, but it is not affected. The reason behind that is we are passing it by a value. So they make a copy of it and then they work on that copy only, not in the original variable. That's why it is not modified. Okay, can I make such a modification as I modified the content of array here? Can I modify the x and y too? Yes, you can do. For that, what we have to do is instead of using int, we have to use int star. That's it. So this is called as call by reference. The moment you put star after your data type, which is going to act like a pointer. So you have to pass the address only to that, right? So now what I do, I just declare that one as such. No. So int star y, then I say star x star y. After that, star x is equal to star x plus 2, star y is equal to star y plus 2, which means that I increase the content of x and y by 2. Initially, I add those two content and store it in sum. I return sum. After that, I am doing incrementation. Now, let us see how a program behaves. This is called as call by reference. When you do like this, you cannot pass num1 and num2 like this as we used to do. So here you have to prefix an ampersand with those two variables. So which means that we are not taking values, we are not passing value, instead we pass the address. Right. So now x and y will be affected because we are passing address and we do the calculations using address, then there will be a different result. Right, see here 102 247, and then it is also modified. Give me a sec. Somebody is knocking. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now the content is modified. So for that, what we did, we pass the address. So this is the difference between call by reference and call by value. So one another distinct thing that we have to remember is arrays are always call by reference. Don't think that I pass an array by I just pass the array name only. I didn't pass any address. Why they modified it? By default, it is like that. Right. So that is a thing that we have to remember always when we deal with array. So now you are clear, right? Call by reference, call by value.
Yes, sir. So, sir, one doubt I have, sir.
Yes.
So, while for call by reference, so we have like defined here int star x star y for variable. So,
Yeah.
is there any like what are the types we can define like that? Yeah, any other types, sir?
Actually, this is the only one way to do this. Arrays are when we pass address to a function. This is the way to declare them. That means as a pointer parameter. Actually, the prefixing star is equivalent to treating that variable as a pointer.
Okay.
Got it now. So it will address what is pointer. Pointer will accept the address of that we are going to discuss. Pointer is a variable which stores address of another variable. Right. See here I say int star x no. So I told that it is address. Let us say I pass 0x1000 and 0x1010. Let us assume. Right. So when I add here, they should add 1000 and 1010 only, no? Yes or no? So I told that when you prefix star with a variable, you mean the address of that variable. That is what I mean right now. After saying
Yes.
that, within a function body, I say star x star y. So they should add 1000 and 1010 only, no? Why they are adding the value at the 1000 and value at the 1010? Do you agree what I am trying to say?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understood.
Right. Here only people used to confuse. Right.
Yes, sir.
When we use when we use a variable with prefixed with star within a function body, you mean that value in that particular address.
Okay.
In the function body, when you use these variable with prefixed with star, you mean the value at that memory location. When I say like this, I just say address. Inverse. See, when you use it in function parameter to represent address, we prefix a star. But within a function to represent the address, we don't use star. Within a function to prefix the value at that x, we use star x or star y. Are you clear now?
Yes, sir. In the function body, if we write star x means it will take the value.
Value.
In the definition
Function
or
parameters list, when you use a star means it is meaning you mean the address of that particular variable.
yes, sir.
You are clear, right?
Clear, sir. Yes.
This is the one thing. So here we do have another method to do that, but that will more confuse you. I have to deliver a pointer lecture. Once I deliver it, you will understand. So as of now, you just have the understanding what I explained in this particular session.
Sure, sir.
Right now.
Yes.
So now we have know what is mean by call by value and what is mean by call by reference, right? So moving forward, function without parameters, which is like we are using a function that doesn't, it is not getting any parameters as input. Example, print something like that. That function only prints certain information or something like that, but it doesn't return anything. Those functions are called as function without parameter. So when you declare a function without parameter, what we used to do, for example, let's say I have a function here. Sorry. Greet. Right. Is just print this information. As I put the return type as integer, I can say return 0. If I want to return some other number, I can do that one as well. Even that is allowed. Right. So this is parameterless function. Right. So there are certain function which won't return anything. This function returns 0. I can convert the same function to that is void function. That means the function which doesn't return anything. In that time, you have to explicitly specify void. If you are not returning anything, in that time, you no need to include this line as well. Which means that this function just going to do some job and come out. That's all. Okay, that is one thing. I have a function which doesn't, I'm not saying any return time. I just used greet. Will this work? Because that function doesn't accept any parameter. Also, it doesn't return anything. Will this, if I call greet, will that print hello world?
Uh, no, sir. I
Why?
think we need to represent, like, write any data type of the function, whether it's int, void, or some like that.
Okay, if I didn't specify anything, no. Do you believe? Do you believe it will throw an error, syntax error or compilation error?
Yes, sir. It may throw, like,
It
some
may throw,
compilation.
right? No. Let us
Yes.
call this. Right. So it says it is error because it is not, but actually it didn't throw error actually. It accepted.
Okay.
It throws a warning, but it didn't said that it is wrong or the compilation is not terminated. Compilation is over now. So I just say function type. It is doing the job. So from this, what you come to know? When you don't give any return value for a function, compiler by default will assume integer as return type.
Okay.
Though you have a return statement in that function or not.
Okay. Yes, sir. For main also we did same thing last session, I think.
Yes, the same concept.
Yes, sir.
So default return type assumed for a function when you don't have any return type is int. Right. That should be clear to us. Okay, when you have something, when you want to explicitly say that is going to return anything, it's not going to return anything, just a prefix void. That's it.
Okay.
Right now. So
Yes.
that will do. This time we don't even get the compilation warning. Compilation warning. You won't get that one as well. Declaration of greet was here. Void greeted. What they are saying.
So file definition declaration of function, I think you have missed void there.
Thank you. True. I didn't declare it at all.
Declare it. Yes.
Okay, how it was working before without prototype?
Yes, sir. I think we
That is
should
very
declare. Without
Okay.
declaration, I think it will throw error, sir. Error, right, sir?
I think one second. See, function type. Warning, implicit declaration of function greet. Okay. At top level, warning, conflicting type for greet. Void greet. Previous implicit declaration of greet was here. Okay. But none of them were error. Right? It will work.
Yes.
If you run it, it will run.
Okay.
Actually, we have to do the function declaration that we didn't before. We didn't do that before. That is very important. So as it is a compiler, GCC compiler, it is working, but actually it should not. Right?
Yes.
Now it will do the job. Perfect. Right now. So it is working.
Sir, one doubt I have, sir.
Yeah.
So, what is the concept of return, sir? Return. So we are
Okay.
like always writing return
Actually,
0.
when let us consider this greet as a machine.
Yes.
When we give some input to that machine will output something. It will output something. Some machines are like that. Right now. So we won't say all machines return some output. Let us say there are equipment or machine which analyzes the blood cell or something like that. They will return some sort of statistics as an output.
Yes, sir.
Some will not do anything as well. So they will simply accept and will consume the input. That's all. Right. Like that, the greet is a function. Right. So after it does the job, if there is something to be given back as a result of this function call, that will come via return. That means I was called. After I did the processing, this is the result. To give that result only, they use return. Because what for we are calling a function? To do some task only, no?
Yes, sir.
Functions are nothing but a repeated code grouped in a block. When we call a function, after calling it, we may expect some result out of that function. That result is given via this return statement. If you are not returning anything, just you can say return. Just to return. That means I am after I complete my job, I am going back to parent program that called me. So they will execute the remaining statements in that parent program. Here parent program is main function.
Okay. So
So
for every call, there will be some output, but if there is no output,
actually, for every call, there is a return.
Okay.
For every call, there is a return. Sometimes people explicitly write the return statement because the function result can be used by other function. Sometimes the people will simply ignore the return statement completely because that function is not going to return anything. After calling this function, the main function which called this one will not get any result. In those case, we can simply ignore the complete return statement because as this function is void, it is not going to return anything. That's why we disable that one. If it is a return type is an integer, what is return type? What is the data type of a function? Data type, actually, it is not a data type, return type. Return type means when someone call me, what is the data type of the result that I am going to return? That is what I mentioned here, return type of a function. Right, the data type of the result.
Okay.
If you are not going to return anything, just put void in front of the function as a return type and don't rewrite return statement at all.
Okay.
You do whatever that you want to do. Even you can do any calculation, big calculation, not a problem. Everything will happen. But after calling, they won't return anything to the main function.
Okay, so the int function or float function. So int function means it is going to return the int return only, right? Int
Yes,
value,
it will
return value.
return a result in the data type integer. If I
Okay,
say float, don't think that function data type. No, function doesn't have data type. Function is a group of programming statement. After executing that programming statement, what they are going to return? If they return something, what is the data type of it? That is what the return type is.
okay. So if we are declaring as int or float, and if we are not returning anything, sir, so I think it is
So it
the
will throw error, IT
error.
compilation error, because the function doesn't return, it is declared as a return type with the float, but it is not returning.
Okay,
That is a
so
very big serious issue.
okay, sir, got it, sir. Clear.
Clear, no? Shall we
Yes,
proceed?
yes, sir.